Welcome to this explainer. If you work in the maritime industry, you know firsthand that the rules governing the oceans can feel like a dark, impenetrable maze. But today, we're going to shed some serious light on exactly what you need to know. We are turning a dense, intimidating legal ledger into your bright, easy-to-understand survival guide for the high seas, focusing on making these laws highly visual and incredibly simple to grasp at first glance. So 103, that's our magic number today. We've distilled over 100 highly technical rules, offenses, and penalties right out of the Maritime Act so you can truly understand the complex do's and don'ts of maritime law without needing a law degree. No more digging through hundreds of pages of legal jargon. We're bringing the absolute most crucial data right to you. To make all this immediately accessible, we've organized the rules into a 5-step penalty escalator: paperwork and flags, crew and employment, safety and collisions, the marine environment, and finally, the ultimate sins. We'll start at the bottom with basic bureaucracy and ride this escalator all the way up. Category 1, paperwork, flags, and registrations. Let's set sail with the absolute fastest way to get yourself in hot water before you even leave the dock, messing up your everyday admin. Now, check out this overarching safety net the law creates. As a baseline rule, if you happen to break a rule where there isn't a specific penalty listed, well, you aren't off the hook. You are immediately looking at a 50,000 rupee fine. It's basically the ultimate catch-all to ensure absolute compliance across the board. But wait, specific paperwork failures escalate super fast. Missing your registration? That's your 50,000 baseline. But say you fly the wrong national colors. Boom, 2 lakh rupees. Carrying uncertified passengers will also run you 2 lakh. And if you actually proceed to sea without valid safety certificates, the penalty absolutely skyrockets to 15 lakh rupees, plus the immediate detention of your ship. So paperwork isn't just a suggestion. It's literally the financial anchor of your entire operation. Moving on to Category 2, the crew and employment. We are shifting from paper to people, diving into the strict rules governing exactly who you can hire and how they have to behave. So the maritime industry takes youth protection incredibly seriously. One of the most rigid employment rules on the books is that hiring a person below the age of 16 is strictly forbidden. And look at this penalty structure. It instantly costs the ship owner 2 lakh rupees for every single underage seafarer. It's a multiplier, perfectly designed to wipe out any shady financial incentive to cut corners on age restrictions. But what about crew behavior, right? Managing a crew at sea is tough. What legally happens if a sailor just decides they've had enough and completely abandons the voyage in a foreign port? While the law draws this brilliant hard line between a simple mistake and total betrayal. Being AWOL, that'll cost you a manageable 2 days' pay. But full-blown desertion? You lose all the property you left on board, you forfeit all your earned wages, and, get this, you actually have to pay the excess wages of the substitute they hired to replace you. It's a fascinating mechanism designed to keep the ship moving and deeply punish anyone who leaves their crewmates stranded. Okay, Category 3, safety, wrecks, and collisions. We're stepping further up the severity escalator now to emergencies at sea, where following exact procedures is absolutely non-negotiable. If a collision happens, panic is not a legal excuse. A master has to follow 3 exact steps in order. First, render assistance. Failing to do this, that's a massive 5 lakh rupee fine. Second, log it. Skip that step, and it's 50,000 rupees. And third, transmit a report to the Director General, which carries a 1 lakh rupee penalty if you conveniently forget. The law intentionally layers these distinct fines to force safety, record-keeping, and transparency sequentially. Furthermore, if there's a wreck, ignoring it is definitely not an option. Look at this penalty jump. Just failing to report a wreck triggers a 50,000 rupee fine, but failing to properly mark that hazard for other ships jumps straight to 2 lakh rupees. And remember, these aren't just fines. Ignoring wreck rules can also trigger default prison sentences. The message is crystal clear. Your emergency cannot become someone else's hidden hazard. Category 4, protecting the marine environment. Here's where we hit the heavy hitters, where financial penalties jump significantly to protect our oceans. Just visualize the strict hierarchy of harm applied to pollution here. Discharging sewage or ballast water illegally will set you back a steep 5 lakh rupees. But dump harmful packaged substances, the penalty doubles to a massive 10 lakh rupees. Plus, the law mandates you put up security for future damages. They aren't just punishing the act, they're basically holding you financially hostage for the environmental cleanup. And for the worst environmental offenses, we leave civil fines in the rearview mirror completely. If a vessel discharges oil or noxious liquid substances, it elevates to a severe criminal offense. You're looking at up to 25 lakh rupees in fines, a year in prison, or both. The law treats oceanic oil spills not as an administrative error, but as a severe, outright crime against nature. And that brings us to Category 5, the ultimate maritime sins, the very top of the penalty escalator. At the top of the list, destroying trust. Falsifying ownership documents, willfully altering an official logbook, or forging a seafarer's continuous discharge certificate. It's treated with absolute zero tolerance. These fraudulent acts completely undermine the global maritime system and carry heavy criminal penalties and fines up to 2 lakh rupees. The law assumes that if you're lying on paper, your vessel is a literal danger in the water. The rules also get hyper-specific for extreme modern scenarios. For instance, operating a nuclear vessel and proceeding to any port against government orders isn't just frowned upon, it's viewed as an immediate threat to national security. Violating this carries an instant 6 months in jail or a 10 lakh rupee fine, no questions asked. To really grasp the incredible scale of these rules at a single glance, just compare the extremes. On one end, a minor administrative slip-up, like failing to produce a certificate, triggers your baseline 50,000 rupee fine. Contrast that with the absolute granddaddy of all financial penalties, a staggering 70 lakh rupee penalty for sailing without compulsory insurance. Why so incredibly high? Because without insurance, a catastrophic accident bankrupts families, ruins environments, and destroys ports. The penalty is astronomical to guarantee you can actually pay for the damage you might cause. So, we've escalated from 50,000 rupee paperwork snafus all the way up to a 70 lakh rupee insurance mandate and literal jail time for pollution and fraud. By visualizing this complex legal framework, you can now see exactly where the real dangers are hiding. Which leaves us with a pretty critical question for any maritime professional. Knowing what you know now, are you truly prepared to navigate this web of rules without sinking your business? Keep these concepts in mind, respect the penalty escalator, and you'll be set for smooth sailing. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.